stories, and you can't help but feel good about that through osmosis.
And the whole rhythm of preparing for a game as well, which is something that they've done their entire lives. Let's go over to Steve Gelbs, who's standing by with Turk Wendell.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. Turk, seems like you're fully equipped. You've got the shark tooth necklace, you got the black licorice, everything ready to go for today?
Take no prisoners time, boys.
Howie was just saying that the genuine joy that you guys seem to feel on a day like today is palpable. What excites you the most about getting back with your old teammates?
Oh, just reminiscing about the old times and just giving each other grief, you know. I can't wait to face Josh Thole today because I'm going to buzz his tower.
You are also someone who, as was mentioned in your introduction, once pitched 9 consecutive games out of the bullpen in September back when you were playing. Thinking about where the game is now, can you ever imagine doing that in this day and age?
How many games did you say that? Say that again?
9 games in a row.
Only 9? Yeah, I loved every minute of it. Some guys were telling me, hey, you may not bring your spikes today. You're not going to pitch. But I said, I feel good and I'm ready to roll.
All right, Turk, finally here. I don't know if everybody in the crowd knows this, but Jim Duquette, he's out here today. Everybody knows Jim Duquette well. Can you tell everybody the story about how one of your superstitions was created by playing with Jim Duquette back in high school?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but Duke was one of the best athletes I've ever played baseball with, soccer with, or basketball with. You wouldn't know it now by looking at him, but he was the real deal. Anyway, high school, I went out, pitched an inning, and he said I threw a pitch or two before he was even looking. So ever since then, I had to make sure to turn around. I'm like, Duke, are you ready? Can I throw a pitch now? And that's how that started.
That's how waving to center field started. Jim Duquette got it going back in high school with Turk Wendell. Turk, so great to see you again. Looking forward to watching you buzz Josh Thole today.
Pleasure to be here, and I can't wait.
All right, guys, let's send it back to you.
All right, Steve, thank you. And Gary and I are joined here by the man who managed more games than anyone in the history of the New York Mets, Terry Collins. Could you imagine asking a pitcher up-downs for 9 days in a row?
No, I cannot. But, you know, he's still doing it today. I go to the fantasy camps with him, and he pitches every day. So he's still doing it.
So you've got a lot of pitching talent on your team over here. It looks like you've given the knuckleballer the ball to start the game.
Well, I only did that because I did a show the other night with Todd Zeal, and he told me he's been taking batting practice for a week for this, and he wanted to know who I was going to start, and I told him it was going to be R.A. Dickey, and he immediately got sick to his stomach because he has not faced one knuckleball ever. So.
You know, I seem to remember being on good terms with all of these players, but they're putting this big screen up in front of us. Do you know if anybody's after Gary or me today, or should we be ducking here? What's up?
Well, you know, I would be if I were you. I'd stay behind the screen if I were you right now. But, you know, it's really been a lot of fun. It's great to see some of the guys we haven't seen in a while, and I salute the Cohens for putting this together. It's a tremendous event.
So you managed a lot of games in this ballpark. What's your most memorable moment?
In this ballpark?
Yeah.
Gosh. There was so many. I mean, Johan's no-hitter was probably right near the top. I remember, you know, the night was Harvey Strasburg night. It's never been more electric in my life. Watching Matt go out and dominate that game, that was a huge night. And you know, the World Series when David hit that home run, I don't think that was another just a huge night.
I remember you saying something on the bus in Chicago after you won the pennant. On our way back to New York, you spoke to everybody on the bus with the little intercom or microphone that they had, and you said, anybody who's not going to the World Series, get off this bus, because we're going to the World Series. And I could see the tears forming in your eyes then. Do you remember that, and does that in and of itself still give you chills?
I do, Howie. I really do remember it. You know, when you spend as much time in baseball as I have and never got a chance to be involved in a World Series, and then all of a sudden get to be the manager of one of the greatest franchises in baseball, and then to look up and you're going to the World Series, it's you know, it stands out and is the greatest moment of my life. I tell the story. When I was a little boy, my mother kept me out of school one day so I could watch the World Series, and now all of a sudden I'm standing on the third baseline in Kansas City as the manager of a team in the World Series. It was pretty special.
It was interesting when I asked you about greatest moments in this ballpark. You first mentioned Johan's no-hitter, which was probably your most difficult day managing in the major leagues.
Yes, it was. I knew, as you guys did, how important Johan was to the ball club. And, you know, when he started, and when he got into about the 6th inning, I told Dan Worthen, the pitching coach, I said, please God, somebody get a hit, because I can't let this guy go very far to this game, because I knew his shoulder was an issue, and I went down to him in the 8th inning at the end of the bench, and he looked at me before I got down there. He said, "I'm okay. Don't worry about me. I'm going to be fine." And I looked at him and I said, "You know, Yo, you're my hero. Go finish this thing." And he did, and certainly nobody could have been more deserving than Johan Santana.
Did you sleep okay after that game?
Not
or were you
too much.
tossing and turning?
Tossing and turning. Still trying to get over the 134th pitch.
Exactly what it was.
Can you imagine somebody throwing 134 pitches today? Oh, my God.
Well, a key figure in that game is standing by with Steve.
All right, Gary, thanks so much. Yeah, here with Mike Baxter. And, you know, Mike, a Queens kid, but you are known very much so for that unbelievable catch you made to preserve Johan Santana's no-hitter. When you come back here, how often are you asked about that when you're locally?
Occasionally, when I come back. What a great memory, great to be able to play a part in that game. Really glad Johan finished it off more than anything.
They're showing it on the big screen right now. When you see it, what are the thoughts that come to mind?
That hurt. I'm glad the ball stayed in the glove.
Mike, when you come back on a day like today, I know you move on, you lose touch with some guys. What's the best part about reconnecting with some of your old teammates?
You pick up right where you left off. Steve and the ownership putting this together for us gives us all an opportunity to get together. We're all grateful for that, so we appreciate that.
Any diving catches that we should be expecting today?
No. Johan already told me to stay very far away from the fence.
Very good. Do you have any, Jose Reyes we talked to, and he's somebody that has been prepping and working hard to get in shape for today. Have you been doing the same, or are you just showing up, putting the uniform on, and seeing what happens?
It's a show and go for me today.
All right. Mike Baxter, you still look like you can play. Thanks so much for the time. Good luck today.
Thanks.
All right, guys.
I saw one of the fans had a piece of the wall that Mike crashed into outside the ballpark today and got Mike to pose in front of it.
In fact, Mike and Johan Santana have signed that panel.
That's fantastic.
That's pretty cool.
Done? Good.
All right. Terry Collins is going to make out the lineup card, make sure the guys have the signs, and be ready for the game. Look who's coming to join us now. It's been a long time since we saw Pedro Martinez back here in a Mets uniform. Pedro's getting all hooked up and ready to go. You've been busy. You were at Fenway last night, weren't you?
Yes, I was. It was a fun night. They had a little video of the back and forth between the Red Sox and the Yankees. That was a lot of fun, and then they got me throwing the first pitch.
I remember the day that you signed with the Mets. You and Carlos Beltran together thought that this was going to be a new era in Mets history, and it turned out that it was. 2006 is one of the most memorable years we've ever had here. What do you remember about that year?
You know what? What I remember, it's unfortunate, but the thing that stuck in my mind was that we were one strike away. One strike away. And I felt so bad because I wanted to be there to be the guy to make that pitch. I would never throw Albert Pujols 8 changeups in a row. And I wanted to kind of be there to blow that fastball up and then maybe go back to the changeup or whatever, but we were just one strike away. And that's what made us fall short to the goal that we had.
Can I give you my one favorite Pedro Martinez as a Met moment? I'm sure you'll remember it. It had nothing to do with throwing a pitch, but you're standing on the mound warming up between innings at Shea, and the sprinklers go off. Now, there are some pitchers who would go crazy because of that, because they'd be set off of their rhythm and have to wait until they got it fixed. You seem to be having more fun than anybody in the ballpark dancing through the shower. Did you literally enjoy that?
I actually did, and I'm glad. I think that was something that I should have done more often. I was talking to Jacob deGrom earlier, and I said, you know what? Try to have more fun while you play the game, because that is something that I never learned to do. And I remember that day when the sprinklers went off, I just started laughing for some reason. And then I got wet in the water. It was hot. It was it was humid, so a little cold water wouldn't do any bad. And I started enjoying that, and that was a lot of fun.
Pedro, thanks so much. Great to have you back here. I think the game's about to start.
All right, play ball!
Oh, boy.
There you go.
Great seeing you. And, of course, Jose Reyes is leading off.
And all right, Dickey all set to throw his first knuckleball. He threw a fastball. He threw it to the backstop.
Well, Jose just looked out for a moment, but I don't think he took it personally.
You notice he's hitting right on right against Dickey. It's the MO for switch hitters against knuckleballers.
But 2 fastballs. Oh, of course, this is coming right here. No, not that close.
Oh.
I think Josh did that on purpose just to see if Jose could steal a base.
I think that Josh is ready to throw Reyes out. Tries to steal a base.
And here's Carlos Beltran in the Mets organization, an advisor to the front office. He's batting left-handed.
Well, maybe he needs one more home run to get over the top in the Hall of Fame vote. There's a knuckleball. Ike Davis going for 2.
Well, now will Jose try to steal third as Benny Agbayani comes to the plate?
I was just glad to see that Ruben covered second and there was no incident.
Heard that a few times when Benny walked up.
RA, it's such a magical year in 2012. It was a show. Back-to-back one-hitters, 32 straight scoreless innings, and the hardest knuckleball anybody had ever seen.
If I remember right, he won his 20th game the last day of the season. Will there ever be another Mets 20-game winner? The way the game is structured now. There goes Jose.
Reyes got a big jump, but Benny protecting.
Jose wanted Agbayani to take a pitch there and let him get down to third base, I think. The pitch is near the strike zone. Shouldn't you be fined for taking a pitch at an old-timers game? Sorry, Alumni Classic.
Do we have the 3 disengagement rule? And the knuckleball proves to be too much.
Well, look at it this way, Benny. You're not the first. And here comes Mike Piazza. Is that Zach Wild?
RA surprising him. Wasn't expecting the fastball. Got a little barking going on.
There goes Reyes to third.
I don't think Josh brought his butterfly mitt that he used for catching knuckleballs.
Well, he's got to be alert. I remember Mike standing at home plate when a very important wild pitch extended the Mets season.
Yeah, but that was no knuckleball from Brad Klotz. But it bounced all the way up on the screen. 1999, last day of the season.
Is that strike 3? Well, here comes Reyes. And he scores.
So a Reyes run.
Somebody just got tossed.
Had to be Bobby V, right? Always the loudest voice coming from the dugout.
I thought he was going to take this in a laid-back fashion.
Have we met? And the side retired. So Team Shea gets a run in the top of the first. That's an unearned run, R.A.
I don't know. R.A.'s not huffing and puffing or anything. Accepting congratulations in the Mets dugout. And now getting ready to chat with Steve Gelbs.
All right, R.A. Dickey, you surprised a couple of guys out there starting them off with fastballs. All part of the game plan?
They should have studied the film. I did that all the time when I played, man.
We did just hear you, not to blow up your spot, but I just heard you say to Josh Thole, hey, man, you cost me a run. What was going on out there?
Well, he knows better. He's playing with the little glove now. He didn't bring the big glove, so it cost us.
Talk about a lack of preparation. All right, 2012, a magical season for you. When you look back on that year, what does it mean for you in your career?
Well, I mean, it was the pinnacle for me of my career, I think. I did get to go to the playoffs later, but that was something really special. I got to celebrate it with all the Mets community. Thank you very much, everybody. That was what made it really special for me.
All right, you're acknowledging this Mets fan base. What was that connection like for you? How much did that mean to you, and what is it like to be back playing in front of them?
Well, it's awesome. It's just, it's a working class fan base, and that's where I fit in, I feel like, and it was special all around.
Anybody in particular that you were really excited to come catch up with today?
Well, I'm always partial to Josh. Like Josh and I go way back, and he's been a big part of my career, so getting to catch up with him was great.
All right, Dickey, you look great out there. Look like you can still spin it. Thanks so much for the time.
You're welcome.
All right, guys, back to you.
There have been knuckleballers work till they're 50. R.A. might be plotting a comeback.
Well, I think he looked good enough to give it an opportunity, at least give it a thought. And by the way, guy warming up on the mound right now, he looks like he's got some of that Leiter-esque intensity.
Well, he's got family here. Of course, Al's son Jack is a member of the Texas Rangers.
And Jack's having a nice year, too. His first full big league season. Makes Al and family very proud.
I think Al has thrown enough warm-up pitches. He doesn't want to waste it on the warm-ups. And Curtis Granderson will lead off against him.
Careful, Al. Curtis hit a lot of leadoff home runs for the Mets.
He needs one because he saw his record fall to Francisco Lindor this year for most leadoff home runs in a season. Al taking the selfie. Never forget that first inning against Jake Arrieta in the League Championship Series. Granderson set the table, and Murph hit the 3-run homer, and the Mets were off and running against a guy who hadn't given up runs all year. And Curtis finds the hole and has himself a base hit.
And Ruben Tejada stepping in.
Ruben Tejada, a man who might have gotten the largest ovation in the history of Citi Field after he limped out following his Chase Utley contretemps. And he finds the hole. Now you need Reyes to move over a little further in that 5.5 hole.
And now as Drupal Cabrera, who hit a very memorable home run against the Philadelphia Phillies several years ago.
Let's go. Al's out there throwing curveballs.
And Curtis is daring him to pay attention to him.
And as Dribble drives one. Jay Payton can't make the grab, and the bases are loaded.
Hey, that's as good an effort as you'll see in an alumni game. Nice try, Jay.
Remember the catch he made in San Francisco? Leaping grab against the wall in left center. Jay made some terrific plays during his time.
And here's a guy who had a whole lot of big hits for the Mets during his New York tenure, helping them to the pennant 10 years ago, Kelly Johnson.
When we talk about 2015 and the trading deadline, we always talk about Cespedes because he had such a huge impact. But there were other guys who came over. And Kelly Johnson was one of them, with Juan Uribe and Addison Reed and Tyler Clippard, to help that team turn things around.
Kelly came back again the next year with the Mets as a midseason pickup. Well, it'll score a run.
Reyes stayed on the bag. So it's a tie game.
A jubilant Curtis Granderson being congratulated as he approaches the Mets dugout. He got it going. That's it. How many times did they replace Al Leiter with another lefty? Only if he was handing off to the closer. And here comes John Franco.
I don't think John's ready to pitch after shoulder surgery, but he's out there making the pitching change.
It was actually shoulder replacement. I mean, they really fixed his shoulder up. And he's going to bring the indefatigable Turk Wendell into the game.
Watch out for the rosin bag.
It was no exaggeration. Turk Wendell pitched in 9 straight games for the Mets.
And I think he threw a slider on every pitch of those 9 games.
Well, he and Billy Wagner always said, they keep swinging at it, I'm going to keep throwing it. And there goes the rosin bag.
All right, he's ready. Josh Satin will face him.
Little heat. Uh-oh.
Oh, here comes Bobby V.
Wait a minute. I thought he was run earlier.
Well, now he got it. Well, Bobby may be gone, but he won't be forgotten.
I'm not so sure he won't be back. We've seen that before. Josh Satin swing and a miss. I think he's got him timed, though. Yep.
And that'll get a run home as Tejada scampers in to make it 2-1 in favor of Citi.
Here is Whitestone's Mike Baxter.
We prefer to claim him as Columbia's Mike Baxter.
I understand. Spent some time coaching at Vanderbilt. Still lives in Tennessee. Turk get hurt. We know one thing, it's not a pitch comm issue.
I think Zeal needs to be replaced. He was limping. Well, There goes Turk. Avoided the foul line.
Right, he still had the presence of mind to do that.
And now Mike Hampton. What a year he had. It was only one season in orange and blue, but it was memorable.
And you know what? There might never have been a better fielding pitcher in Mets history than Mike Hampton. That's an extra infielder out there.
Also one of the best hitting pitchers in Mets history.
Remember those days?
Won 15 games in that 2000 season. Finished off the Cardinals in the National League Championship Series and was named NLCS MVP.
And made a further contribution to the Mets after leaving as a free agent to sign with the Colorado Rockies. The Mets received a compensatory draft pick when Mike left, and they used that pick to select a fellow by the name of David Wright. So it all worked out pretty well.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yep. Mike helped the Mets win a pennant. So did David.
Kind of like R.A. Dickey. Won a Cy Young, and then the Mets got Travis d'Arnaud and Noah Syndergaard in trade for him.
Mike's bringing it pretty good.
All right, Mike Baxter will get a shot at Mike Hampton. Nice pickup, Todd.
It is his natural position.
Who wants it? Well, Fonzie always is short-handed.
I don't know, but Mike sure didn't. Let that go for Alfonso. And so
2-1 Team Citi. We'll be back with the second inning in a moment.
Check this out. Check this out.
Okay, we're back here, top of the second inning, and I am joined by one of the all-time Mets fan favorites, Benny Agbayani. Benny, I don't think it's fair, this is my personal opinion, that in an alumni game, you have to start things off by facing a knuckleball.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy right there. I think he can still pitch.
Yeah, I think he could. That's the one area where you say, hey, he could probably pitch into his 50s. But Benny, I mentioned, all-time fan favorite. Why do you think it was that you connected with this fan base the way that you did when you were playing?
I think, just the support and just going out there, giving my best every night. and try to, help our ball club blow in. And it was a great run. I mean, it was exciting to see all these fans, and it's exciting to see them all here today with all this support. Just want to thank the Mets management for, letting this happen. It's a great atmosphere today.
Benny, you had so many personally great moments in the year 2000. Any one in particular that stands out above all else?
Yeah, I think that home run against the Giants that put us on the in that playoff series, that was great.
By the way, you were on the team the day that Bobby V got ejected and came back wearing a disguise. He got ejected here today. You expect we're going to see him again at some point?
I don't know. He might. You never know. You just got to look down that bench. He might come back.
All right, Benny Agbayani, great seeing you again. Go enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, back to you.
Got Matt Harvey on the mound, pitching to Edgardo Alfonso.
Good to see Matt back in a Mets uniform pitching.
And Fonzie drills one.
Well, Terry Collins coming to get Matt Harvey. That's what Fonzie did to him. Don't fight him, Matt.
Matt just threw a knuckleball. I guess he figures that's the best way to stay around.
And here comes Johan Santana. Well, Johan Santana will always have a very, very, very special place in Mets history. And Gary, I know you and I thought the exact same thing when Josh Thole squeezed strike 3. David Freese swung through that changeup that ensured Johan's no-hitter, the first in Mets history. Neither of us ever believed it would really come to be.
Well, after 50 years of no-hitters for one of the franchises that has sported some of the best pitchers in baseball history, it seemed inevitable that it would never happen. But thanks to Mike Baxter's catch, thanks to a little assistance from Adrian Johnson, Johan Santana etched his name into Mets history forever. But for me, that wasn't even the best game that he pitched for the Mets. The best game that he pitched was the second to last day in 2008. On a bad knee, on 3 days rest, went out there and threw a complete game shutout to get the Mets within a game of the playoffs. And now Terry Collins is getting upset with the umpires. And now Terry has been ejected. I guess the umpire must have been in the jackpot.
You got to give us a shot. Some of the most memorable words ever ushered by Terry Collins.
All right, so now we've had a manager rejected on either side. It's a good thing we have multiple managers for each team.
I think that was the point.
Todd Zeal at the plate. And of course, Santana's throwing change-ups. Todd was always a patient hitter.
He's got Johan where he wants him now. Somebody had him out in front.
Johan says that was a fastball.
I think the pitchers are very happy that they're not putting the radar readings up on the board. Don't worry, Todd. You would have been the first ever to be allowed to draw a walk in an old-timers game.
Or an Alumni Classic.
Yeah, there's that too.
Going the other way. But Curtis is there to grab it.
Well, Jerry Manuel and Willie Randolph are the managers now, with Terry Collins and Bobby Valentine having each gotten the thumb.
Don't get run, Jerry. There's nobody left.
John Neese will be next.
Looks like Jerry's negotiating with Johan. So Santana out and Jonathan Neese will replace him. And while John warms up, Steve Gelbs is standing by with Josh Thole. Steve?
Well, I am with Josh Thole, but I'll let him dap up his battery mate, Johan Santana. But hey, before we get to the memories of that huge game with Johan, what did you just say to me off air here about how it was behind the plate catching R.A. Dickey?
Well, it wasn't like riding a bike, I'll tell you that much. I thought it was going to be like riding a bike. I played catch with him, we warmed up, it was good, until you get out there in front of the big crowd again. But it was exciting, good to be out there.
Where was the butterfly glove?
We have no idea. I lost mine, he lost his, so we went with the regular mitt.
Josh, when you get out here, and obviously we just saw Johan Santana back out on the mound, is that the first memory that comes flooding back, that great night?
Yeah, it was a special night personally, special night for the organization, so it was good to see him back out there.
Josh, when you look back at your time with the organization, obviously that's the one highlight, but is there anything that, again, people wouldn't know unless they were in it with you, that you think back on that stands out from your time with the organization? Ooh, almost a double play turn.
We like that. No, we needed a double play. Yeah, I mean, that was a special moment for me. RA's Cy Young year. I mean, just getting back with all these guys is the things I'll never forget.
All right, Josh, enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, guys.
Well, we just found out that Andy Chavez can still get down the line. Purveyor of the greatest catch ever. Ike almost got there. See, if there was a dugout railing out there, he would have flipped over and caught it.
Easily. Easily. He must have done that 2 or 3 times 1 week that I can remember.
Jay Payton at the plate against Jonathan Neese. Jay's still got a fast bat.
Can tell that's one guy who swung a bat getting ready for this. Somebody actually just yelled "good take" from the dugout.
You know, once the competition starts, juices get flowing. That's hit down the right field line, and that stays fair into the corner.
Andy can walk home, but he always takes the fastest route.
And that ties up the game 2-2. And that'll bring up Super Joe McEwing.
John's throwing hard.
has the second most strikeouts at Citi Field of any player in history. The guy who pitched last night, he's #1.
Jacob deGrom. Great to see Jake back.
And that retires the side. But Team Shea ties it up 2-2. Steve is standing by with Mike Pelfrey. Steve?
Yeah, his nickname was Big Pelf, and I can see why. I'm looking up to Mike Pelfrey right now. Hey, Mike, I know you were just getting warm. You're going out here next. How you feeling physically about this?
Well, physically, I feel okay, besides feeling old and really tight and didn't really stretch, so we'll see how it goes.
You know, you were the pitcher on the mound for the first game at Citi Field. What do you remember about that day?
Just an incredible experience, and how beautiful the ballpark is, and then of course giving up a home run to the first batter. I can't ever forget that. But it's a pretty awesome stadium, and got the chance to break it in.
You brought that up, not me. I'm just putting that out there right now. Hey, Mike, you know, you were such a big prospect when you came up, and the Mets right now have a few young pitching prospect studs that are pitching this weekend. What is the key when you have those types of expectations to succeeding?
Well, I mean, the thing is, I think when you get to this level, you always try to think you need to do more, you know, and you don't really need to. The things you did in AA or AAA or wherever it came from, it works at this level too. But it's human nature to try to be better, try to come here and impress people and do really well. But just being yourself, it works really well. All
right, what are you doing now? What are you doing these days?
So I coach at a local high school in Wichita, Kansas, and I actually get to coach my son, which is a pretty cool feeling every day, getting to see him.
How is he? Are we going to see him out here one day?
He thinks so. He's up here now. He came with me, so I hope he makes it. But as long as he enjoys it and has fun, and see how far you can go.
All right, Mike. One more before we let you go. Game a little different to coach in high school now than when you were playing in high school?
You know, I coached 5 years at college at Wichita State before this. That was way different, and then high school is a totally different game. So, but you got to adjust, and you got to find a way to try to figure it out.
All right, we appreciate you talking to us on a start day. Go out there and get it done.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, guys, back to you.
Pelf's name came up when Jonah Tong made his major league debut because the Mets scored 19 runs for Jonah. It was reminiscent of Pelfrey's debut when the Mets scored 17 for him against the Marlins.
Yep, big first inning too in that game for the Mets. That'll relax anybody.
Kevin Plawecki batting against Mike Hampton and takes one the other way, but foul. Wait a second. Wait a second.
I have no idea who that man is.
I hope nobody notices him.
You know, I think the one he wore in '99 was a lot better. Here comes Jay, and Jay Payton puts it away.
Well, there's the original disguise that Bobby Valentine wore in that game against the Blue Jays when he reappeared at the end of the dugout.
All he wanted to do was lighten the mood because the Mets at that point had been struggling. And I think Bobby certainly got his point across. But Bobby didn't fool anybody. We knew it was you.
Mike Hampton out, Rick Reed in. Great to have Rick back. He pitched some memorable games for the Mets. None bigger than the one he pitched the final weekend in 1999 against the Pirates when he struck out 12 and kept the Mets' postseason hopes alive.
Pirates, the team with which he came up to the big leagues in 1988 and eventually put together several very solid seasons for the New York Mets.
All right, that's enough warm-ups. Kirk Neuenhuis will bat.
Kirk hit 3 home runs in a game here. He became the first Met who ever did that at home. Many other Mets had hit 3 homers in a game, but all on the road until Kirk Neuenhuis.
He had some other big moments for the Mets. That series in Washington in 2015 when the Mets swept and propelled themselves onto the division title. That was Neuenhuis's big moment.
I think that was a home run in a game the Mets had once trailed 7-1, if I'm not mistaken.
Kelly Johnson also had a big home run in that game.
Uh-oh.
Reader down.
Reader back up.
Like Chumbawamba.
Was that in the script? Good.
All ligaments intact. Glad they put the screen up in front of us, Howie.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about before. Now I know why.
And Neuenhuis laces a base hit.
Well, Juan Lagares coming to the plate now. I think if anybody's got one big defensive play in him this afternoon, it would be this guy, a tremendous Gold Glove winning center fielder for the Mets.
His glove was where extra base hits went to die.
Got hit with the backswing. You know, the first memory I ever have of being at a baseball game was an old timers day with my dad. And just to hear the stories from him about these players, I hope is similarly educating young fans in the stands today about what these guys have meant to the Mets franchise, the successes that they've had, both sides representing teams that won a pennant for the Mets.
Well, it's the thread that connects generations. Ooh, slick pickup. 2 of them.
Oh.
3 of them. That's defense.
And of course, who does it start with? A guy we usually see make plays like that at shortstop, but hats off to the third baseman, Ray Ordonez. Maybe next he'll throw one from his knees from the outfield.
I asked Ray if he actually broke his glove in for this game. He said, yeah. He used to take him right out of the box and use them in games. Here's Ike Davis. There's Ray. 3 gold gloves.
Ike still has that Coca-Cola corner swing. Well, was that one for real? if Rick got hurt or he's just reached his pitch count.
Time to ice. And John Maine will come in to replace Rick Reed.
John Maine and Paul LaDuca, the battery for the Mets now, as they worked quite successfully for a couple of years in the mid-2000s.
Never forget John's near no-hitter, second to last day of 2007.
Oh, was that the Paul Hoover game?
Paul Hoover, a little dribbler along the third base line.
Oh, we've had the Paul Hoover game, the Kit Pello game, of course, all the way back to the Jimmy Qualls game.
Chinwei Sao.
Oh boy. Until we got to the Johan Santana game.
Joe Wallace, Leron Lee.
Yep. All broke up, no-hit bids very late.
But Johns came in a huge spot with the Mets clinging to life in the 2007 season.
When the Mets had some injuries in 2006, they needed a couple of young pitchers to step up in the postseason. John was one. Oliver Perez was another.
Marcus Pedro Martinez and El Duque both were injured.
Yep.
There's Chris Young, who pitched for the Mets, not participating in the Alumni Classic.
He runs the Texas Rangers nowadays.
Always a crowd around Pedro Martinez.
Looks like he's teaching, though, doesn't it? All right, Ike.
Here's Ike with his signature flip.
One of many.
And he could flip the ball out of the ballpark. Had 32 home runs in a season for the Mets.
That's going upstairs.
Don't make Paulie reach for it, John. You might get the crazy eyes. That'll do it for the bottom of the second. One more inning to play. Team Shea and Team Citi all tied up. Alumni Classic, all knotted up.
Big Pelf on the mound. Will be throwing to Josh Thole.
Josh is just happy not to have to cash in more knuckleballs. coming by for hand.
And now Ray Ordonez stopping into the batter's box. Went to his original uniform number 0, which really is 0 for Ordonez. Later took number 10.
Do you remember the Mets put out a video of Reyes's highlight plays called Rayo? And prominently featured in the video is Ray wearing the Mets white hat, the late lamented white hat.
I felt like asking for a popsicle when I saw those things. So Ray pops up, and look who Terry Collins is bringing in to pitch.
I thought he was going to pinch hit him.
Might do both. I think Pelf was looking for a little more work. But he had his man, and here comes Bartolo Colon.
Bart was thinking about a comeback as recently as last year. So he is maybe more prepared than anybody else in this game.
You know, we all think of the home run that Bart hit in San Diego, but I get such a kick thinking of the play he made in Miami when he went behind his back, fielding a ground ball and throwing out a base runner. He fielded the ball and then threw to first base behind his back, as though he were Ozzie Smith.
Just past the 10-year anniversary of that play. Daniel Murphy was playing first base. He was a surprise to anybody. Jose Reyes against Bartolo Colon. Two of the most popular players in Mets history going head-to-head.
Bartolo's not messing around either. You know, when Bartolo was a young pitcher, he threw in the mid to high 90s. We remember him later on when he wasn't throwing as hard, but he could bring it a good chunk of his career.
Well, it wouldn't be a Mets Alumni Classic without the great Jay Horwitz. Reyes drills one to center, but there is Lagares.
Well, speaking of Jay Horwitz, no one in this organization has done more to galvanize the alumni and bring players together and create special memories such as all of these players will take from this afternoon than Jay Horwitz, the beloved former media relations director, later the vice president of public relations, and now running the Mets alumni department. Jay had so much to do with putting this event together, so everybody thanks Jay, as Bartolo Colon had his man too.
Nice job, Bart. And now Dylan G will take over the pitching. Dylan was such a stalwart for the Mets in the early part of the 2010s. Paul LeDuc will step in the face. Paulie looks like he stayed in game shape.
Really?
Watching the horses will do that for you. That stays fair. And that'll do it for the top of the third. So another half inning to play, and Team Citi looking for the walk-off.
Well, it's all on the line now, as Dylan G followed Bartolo Colon, who followed Mike Pelfrey. And now we'll see if the Citi Field team can figure something out in the time remaining as we go to the bottom of the third inning. After which the Mets and Texas Rangers will play game 2 of this 3-game series.
Brandon Sproat will make his Citi Field debut later this afternoon. And I think they are calling the game at this point because of time restrictions. And so it finishes in a 2-2 tie.
Which I suppose is somewhat fitting.
So let's give a hand to all the participants in today's Mets Alumni Classic.
What a great day, and thanks to everyone. They may have been on opposing sides today, but as you see, they're all wearing the same uniform. They're all New York Mets and a big part of this team's heritage.
So that'll do it for the Alumni Classic. While we wait for the regular game to start, we're going to send it over to Steve Gill. Steve?
Guys, thanks very much. What a fantastic day out here. And there were a couple more alumni